Hi, this is Laura from LifeVisions.com, and today, depending on you guys, I was thinking we can talk a little bit about, and I don't know if it's a little bit too advanced, figured we could talk a little bit about synastry, maybe with Saturn, and or we can do some tarot questions too. So you let me know what you want to see. And let me put my link. If somebody wants to book a reading, they can. I have to enter this every time, which I think it should just be on there. Anyway, thanks guys for coming in. Okay, so here we go. So let me know, you guys want me just to answer some tarot questions, or would you like to learn a little bit about synastry and Saturn? When you do synastry, hey Susie. When you do synastry and you're looking at somebody else's planets, she's sleeping so good. You guys think, how's the baby? She's sleeping. Thank God. So when somebody else's planet falls into your chart, we call that synastry. And this is what I look at when I do relationship advisor sessions, okay? And I look at planets, especially the outer planets, which are going to be huge, okay, like Saturn, where the restriction may be, Uranus, where they can bring ups and downs in your life, Pluto, where there's could be power struggles or transformations, I look at all that when I do a relationship advisor session, okay? So, let's say somebody's Saturn falls in your first house, right? And this is with synastry. So let's say we don't know your partner's birth time, that's okay, but we know your birth time, okay, which is great. So as long as we know your birth time, I can be able to tell, even though we don't know your partner's birth time, where his planets fall in your chart and how they affect you as a person, how those planets will affect you as a person, okay? Now I'm going to tell you, these planets have you ever been around someone and you're like, this person affects me in the greatest way, or oh my God, I have so much fun, I feel so giddy, and this person just brings me down and weighs me down and makes me feel like so heavy. We all have that. Hey JJ Waterfalls, everybody has that. He wants a random card. Okay, I'll give you a random card, but I want to talk a little bit about synastry, okay? It's important because when you're doing a reading and you're looking at a chart, this is really, really important. Like Saturn can create restriction and limitation. It can create where one person feels overly responsible and the other person can feel resentful, like the person's boxing them in or restricting them in some way, shape, or form, okay? So if somebody's Saturn falls into your first house, okay? Let's say your first house is Aries, and they have Saturn in Aries, even if Aries is not in their first house, okay? If they have Saturn in Aries and it falls into your first house, they may feel a sense of responsibility for you, like they need to take care of you, or and then the other person may feel a sense of a restriction from this person, like, God, this person's always telling me what to do, and they feel responsible for me, and they're, it can create that kind of dynamic, okay? So if somebody's Saturn falls in your second house, you may feel restricted financially, or they're restricting how you make money, they may feel like they need to tell you or guide you about money and how you deal with money. And you may feel like, well, this person is not allowing me to spend what I want to spend, and they're telling me what to do with my income and how I should handle my income and what I should do for work or whatever it is, and there could become resentment, okay? Saturn in the third house, this person can create restriction when it comes to speech and talking, and even with siblings, okay? You may feel like, oh, I'm always having a problem with my sibling when he's around or she's around, I'm always having an issue with, there's a neighbor's situation, or I feel like I can't say what I want to say to this person because they feel like they're always critiquing me, you know what I mean? Or I really feel restricted in my beliefs and what I really think, you know what I mean? That could happen too with Saturn in the third. Now when Saturn falls in synastry, this is not natally, this is synastry, this is how somebody else affects you. Saturn falls into your fourth house of home and family, somebody may feel this overwhelming responsibility for you, okay? But you may feel like they're restricting you within the home and family situation, like you feel like you have a parent, you feel like maybe you can't be who you want to be, and you feel sometimes you can create a resentful dynamic, okay? And Saturn in the second, I want to say there could be an emphasis on money and a resentment about money too with Saturn in the second, okay? So if somebody's Saturn falls into your 5th house, it can make you feel very responsible about children. It can make you feel very responsible and wanting to put in long-term efforts with romance, okay? Creative projects could maybe take a long time, or you're feeling like you really want to take your time and things like this. Sometimes, though, it can take away from the romance, and there could be delays with children, having children. It can create where you need to put more structure and more boundaries in play with children. And it can also create like where you're feeling like the romance isn't happening. Sometimes you feel restricted, like it's just not, happening, for whatever reason, okay? Now, if you have Saturn in the 6th house, somebody's Saturn falls into your 6th house, for one, I will say, Saturn in the 6th house can make them feel responsible for you when it comes to work or your day-to-day activities or within your health. They feel, oh, you go to the doctor, you need to get that checked. Oh my gosh, all of this. And you may feel like this person is totally nagging you on a day-to-day basis in regards to what you do on a day-to-day basis or in regards to your health. And you may feel like, I don't know, you may feel as if this person is like the boss you never wanted, okay? You may feel like, oh my God, this person in my life is like, this is horrible. Like, this is the boss I never wanted. This is the coworker I never wanted. I just feel so boxed in. It can make you feel that way and very resentful, whereas they feel like they're creating more structure and boundaries for you in the work environment or within your day-to-day activities. And maybe you may not like that. You may feel resentful for that. So it's important to see where these planets fall in someone else's chart and where they fall in our own chart, okay? So let's say someone's Saturn falls into your 7th house, okay? Now you may feel a sense of responsibility for a partner. You may feel like you yourself like a partner who's older, who's more mature with them. Like, oh, they're more mature, I like them, But sometimes you may feel like this person's sense of responsibility and duty towards you makes you feel a little resentful because maybe you feel like it's not fun. It's not being spontaneous in the relationship. I'm resentful because they're acting more like my parent than they are a partner, okay? Sometimes you may feel that way when someone's Saturn falls into your 7th. You may feel restricted from that partner even sometimes for whatever reason, and you have to look at rulerships, and this is what we do during a Synastry reading, during a relationship advisor session, okay? Yeah, Marina, sometimes Saturn in the 7th make you feel restricted from that person, or maybe they feel a sense of responsibility towards you, Saturn can be past life karma too. So Saturn, maybe you knew them in a past life and you're kind of having to redo some karma in this life, okay? So you have to look at that as well. So let's say if they have Saturn in the 8th house, okay? Saturn in the 8th house means that this person could be making you feel overly responsible in regards to money you owe others and money that you owe they owe you, debtors, creditors, all of that stuff. Maybe they're like, don't get that loan. I don't want you getting a loan. I don't want to owe anybody any money, Why are you doing that? And they can make it sometimes a little bit restrictive, even in a sexual way. Okay, this person can bring, maybe there's a sexual problem in the relationship that needs to be addressed. Or there could be a lack of sex. Or when I'm on, he's off. When he's on, I'm off. Or, they're not available. It just depends on where that rulership is, okay? That can happen with Saturn in the 8th house. But it can also be where somebody feels this overly sense of responsibility to debtors and paying off debt and all of this, other things, where the other person is like, oh my God, this person is like a wet blanket to me, where that's, it's where one person feels this overly sense of responsibility where that makes the other person feel sometimes resentful, okay? And this can be created in a sexual dynamic as well within that 8th house, okay? Maybe you feel restricted with loans, with inheritance, with money owed to you. Or maybe they don't want, Saturn in the 8th, they don't want to give you money that is owed to you. They're restricting that or withholding that from you. That can happen too. It just depends on how it plays out, okay? Now, if somebody's Saturn falls into your 9th house, they may restrict you. You may feel like you're not traveling as much as you want to. You may feel restricted when it comes to something legal, okay? They can draw out something legal, and you're like, oh my God, this person's drawing this crap out. I just want my freaking divorce or whatever. When Saturn's in the 9th house, they may feel this overwhelming responsibility to teach you things about culture, and higher education and things like this. They may want to show you things and teach you things, okay? But the way you take it is, you could feel some resentment too in some way, shape, or form, because Saturn in the 9th can be foreign people, foreign lands, foreign travel, and maybe you feel delayed in maybe higher education or teaching, writing, publishing. Maybe they're pushing you toward this, but it can create lack. It can create a delay in these things. So if you are a teacher, it can create some sort of delay. If you want to travel, it can create a delay, stuff like this. Or you feel like you're being withheld, or they can restrict your beliefs in some way, like maybe you have really unconventional beliefs and their beliefs are different, and they're trying to maybe like put structure and boundaries when it comes to your beliefs and your thinking and your traveling and all this, which can be kind of suck. You're not going to lie. When somebody's Saturn falls in your 10th house of status, they make status very important to you, and maybe that their status, they're putting this emphasis on acquiring status, okay? Putting this emphasis on, we need to work hard, we need that status, we need that title, we need that house, we need that car, we need this, and we need that, and it can make you feel like resentful a little bit, because status is the most important thing. This reminds me of those people who come into your life, and let's say you're an actor, and it's like that manager who's booking you over job after job after job and not giving you a break, and then you're like, oh no, but our status, that manager wants their 10%, you know what I mean, but I want my 10% of that cut, and I'm going to book you for everything under the sun, and I'm going to throw everything at you but the kitchen sink, and you're tired and you're drained and you're resentful. You're like, I work hard, but Jesus, So they make you work very, very hard because they're so concerned about status, which can be great because they can get you those jobs and they can get you, make you serious about your status, which is a good thing. But maybe you may feel overworked and overburdened, and that could create resentment. It also can create that in order for you to get recognition, you have to work very, very hard. If somebody's Saturn is falling into your 11th house, this could be where you may feel a restriction within your friends, groups, or organizations you're affiliated with. Or you may, one of a few things could take place. You may start to get really serious with your friends, groups, and organizations, or you may start to have older friends come into your life, or more responsible people coming into your life. But in some way, shape, or form, you could become resentful because maybe the friends that you do have, they're kind of restricting those friends or causing limitations and lack as far as those friendships goes, or groups or organizations you're involved in. They could also have you become more serious in regards to friends, groups, and organizations. You have to look at aspects and, the rulerships too, to get a full picture if this is going to be positive or negative. Now, if somebody's Saturn is falling in your 12th house, oh my God, this is going to make you aware of, first of all, it's going to make you aware of your spirituality, okay? It's going to make you aware of your subconscious and things you do on a subconscious level. They're going to make you aware of ways in which you get in your own way. And this can be a little depressing, you know what I mean? Like the person you're like, you really freaking depressed my ass, like by telling me that, well, you're not good because you're doing this, and are you aware you're sabotaging yourself because of this, blah, 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 and you're like, you're like freaking depressing my ass, and on a subconscious level, they're trying to make you responsible, but on a conscious level, you're just like, okay, this person's like a total wet blanket on my thinking, and, so Saturn could create limitation, it can create lack, but it also could create teaching, learning, and structure. So wherever Saturn falls in your chart from somebody else, it can make you work harder, stronger, but it can create resentment, okay? So that's what I have to say about Saturn, okay? Uranus can create ups and downs. So wherever somebody's Uranus falls in your chart, in your natal chart, can create a lot of ups and downs or unexpected stuff. And sometimes it could be unexpected good crap, too. Let's say... let's say this. Somebody's Uranus falls into your first house of self, okay? This could bring unexpected things happening to you. Could be good, could be bad. Got to look at the aspects, okay? It can also make you, as a person, feel like, I want to step out of the box. I want to try something new. I'm going to be more daring. This person makes me try things that I've never tried before, ever. And they make me want to be different, want to be unique. And I'm going to embrace this difference and uniqueness. And I'm going to try something bold and different and new. And they can give you that kind of energy, you know. When somebody's Uranus falls in your second house, money can be a lot of ups and downs with money, okay? Things that you don't expect. Oh my God, the money's just flying out the door. Or a windfall could come in, especially if you have Jupiter in that second house. And let's say if their Uranus falls on your Jupiter, you could get a windfall of money, which is great, okay? So it could go either way, just depending on the planets and the aspects that you have in your chart, okay? I'm just going over I'm not going over the aspects right now, but I'm going over planets falling in the houses, okay? Now, it can also make you feel like you want to do something unconventional to make money. I want to do something different. I want to do something internet-based, Uranus internet, So I want to do something unconventional, very different, exotic, it could be pilot too, airlines and stuff like that. The second is Uranus. But something different for money, okay? Commission-based jobs would be good if you have Uranus natally in your second house, or if you're dating someone with Uranus in the second house. That really does affect you, because you may feel like this person's gearing you or trying to push you to do something more commission-based that may benefit you at the time while you're dating that person or married to that person, okay? Uranus in the third house can create a lot of ups and downs with communication, okay? This could be good, this could be bad. It can make you innovative as far as your thinking and your ideas about putting yourself on social media or innovate, but it's not good with maybe with vehicles. It could create like unexpected accidents. Let's say you let that person borrow your car. It's not a good idea, maybe, especially if their Uranus falls in your third house and you have bad aspects to a planet there. This can create ups and downs with siblings and things like this, but this can also create unexpected communication, so maybe it could be in a good way too, like unexpectedly, like I met a friend and we went downtown Chicago and I met Billy Joel and I'm like, oh my God, this is so exciting, it's just wonderful, and that was unexpected, So anyhow, you can have unexpected things happen with communication, with siblings, social media. It could be good or bad, but the key here is be innovative, be different, be unique, okay? Be yourself, okay? All right, if somebody's Uranus falls into your fourth house of home and family, this can create a lot of turbulence within the home and family situation. It could be a lot of unexpected moves, a lot of, ups and downs with the home and family dynamic, and they're moving in, they're moving out, they're moving in, they're moving out, or we have to move again. Oh, great, So, or you may live an unconventional life, like live unconventionally within the home and family sector could become unconventional in some way, shape, or form, okay? If someone's Uranus falls in the fifth house, depending on the planets that you have natally, this could be unexpected pregnancy. This could also be, if you're doing a creative project, you may do it over the internet, or this could be doing something different outside the box, okay? This could also be, this person may urge you to handle children in an unconventional way, unconventional would be like, the people are like, you know what, I really don't do shots. I don't believe in immunizations because they're so different than the way they used to be a long time ago. So this person could be very unconventional in the way that they're raising their children. Maybe I want to homeschool, I don't want to do regular school. Something unconventional and different. This person may urge you to do that. With that Uranus in your fifth house. If somebody has, or it could be unexpected ups and downs with romance too, and you can have ups and downs with children with Uranus in the fifth too. But be careful on unplanned pregnancy, okay? Uranus in the sixth house could be, ups and downs in the work environment and ups and downs in your day-to-day activity. It could feel like, with this person in my life, oh my God, I can never plan from day to day. It's just something unexpected happens and it's like, holy shit, now my day is like, I can't plan jack crap. But this can also be where you become more of a humanitarian within your work efforts and looking to help others in some way, shape, or form. This can also be where you want to be your own boss. You don't want to have a boss. Maybe this person's like, you know what, screw that. Don't work for that company anymore. Why don't you just do it yourself? They could urge you to become maybe your own boss, your own leader in a situation, okay? Like I said, humanitarian. They can make you feel a little bit more rebellious in your work and your day-to-day activities, doing things unconventional, very different, maybe internet-based as well. Maybe even looking into astrology or something like that too. That can be too, all right? Somebody who has Uranus falling into your seventh house of relationships, Now, this can create a lot of turbulence in the relationship because this is going to make either you or the other person needing more freedom in that relationship. So it's going to be a lot of makeup, breakup, and until you either give that person freedom or, now this is a really good placement if you already have some sort of, in your chart, in your natal chart, showing that you need a lot of space in relationships, okay? But with their Uranus falling into your 7th house, either you're going to give that person space or it's not going to work, okay? And maybe they want too much space, which isn't good for you. But until you create some sort of dynamic that works for both of you, it's going to be nonstop ups and downs, turbulence, makeup, breakup situations within the 7th house of relationships, okay? One person is looking for independence, and you need to find a commonality and agreement as far as what do you consider, like how often do you want to see each other? Well, how often do you want to see each other? It could be an unconventional marriage too, like let's just live together and not get married. That's very unconventional, you know what I mean? It could be very different. Now, this can create also where you're attracted to people who maybe you're all of a sudden attracted to someone who's very unique from you, very different from you, very, goes to the beat of their own drum. You know, this can also make you that way too in relationships. You know, like I don't care what they say or think or feel. I am me and I am who I am. And maybe this is what you like about that other person, that unique person with Uranus in the 7th. It's not always bad. They can also give you a different perspective on relationships and the independence within that relationship, but definitely they would bring a lot of ups and downs and unconventionality in the relationship. And the key here is to give space. Because if you smother that person, it's going to be done. You know, it could be unexpected breakup. It could also, you could have a marriage that starts suddenly, but it can also end suddenly. So, and it, like, we just met each other, and all of a sudden, boom, you know, and we're married. Or it could be, boom, we're divorced, you know. So a lot of ups and downs in that area with Uranus in the 7th. I'm just being honest, okay? If somebody has Uranus that falls in your 8th house, well, this could be a lot of trying things sexually outside the box, something that you've never done before. This person makes you explore things that you've never done before, a little bit unconventional in the sexual area. This can bring a lot of money with a lot of ups and downs with a partner's income, okay? So maybe this person with their Uranus in their 8th house makes their income like very much so fluctuate. If it's a good aspect, let's say you have Jupiter there, or it's aspecting Jupiter or trining Jupiter. So if their Uranus is falling in your 8th house, trining Jupiter in somewhere in your chart, you could get an unexpected money, unexpected, you know, inheritance, or, you know, unexpected money that you weren't expecting, you know, in your life. That can be as well. It just depends with Uranus, if it's aspecting good aspects to Jupiter. But what else? There could be a lot of ups and downs in a sexual way too. A lot of, you know, my advice here is to be spontaneous. If you're looking to plan everything sexual, it may not be great. Being spontaneous in a more sexual way is probably the way to go when somebody has Uranus going into your 8th house. It's kind of like he or she may make you feel like being more spontaneous maybe than you never were before, okay? Trying different positions that you've never tried before, okay? Maybe investing or thinking outside the box when it comes to investments, when it comes to your money, how you're handling money. Sometimes you can have to be careful about taking a gamble when it comes to loans and owing people money, because there could be a lot of ups and downs in debtors and owing people money or people who owe you money. So you have to watch that, okay? Somebody's Uranus falls into your 9th house. There could be maybe you're going to take a class that is very off the beaten path, very different, very eccentric, very unique. You could be interested in different cultures, different religions. You could have more of a humanitarian outlook when it comes to foreign people, foreign lands. Uranus in the 9th house could make you go travel somewhere that you've never been before and you never ever thought that you'd ever travel to ever in your life. Taking a class that you like, let's say you're like, oh, I don't believe in astrology, forget it, you know. This person comes into your life and you're like, hell yeah, I'll take that class. I just want to check it out, you know. They can make you think outside the box and look at things in a different point of view, in a different way, okay? They can make you want to travel off the cuff, like, oh, you know, let's book our tickets now. Let's just fly out tomorrow. Let's take a red eye. You know, let's quickly, unconventional, okay? So this could be making you think outside the box with your thinking, with your beliefs, traveling quickly, suddenly, without notice. They could be traveling quickly, suddenly, without notice. And, you know, I want to say this is just a different take. You may take a different take on foreign people, foreign lands, even law. You could be more unconventional and maybe more liberal thinking when it comes to laws that are in place, and being more of a humanitarian with your beliefs and your thinking, and when it comes to laws and lawmaking and political thinking, okay? All right, so if somebody's Uranus falls in your 10th house, this is your status, okay? They can bring ups and downs when it comes to your status, but they can also bring good things too. This is why it's important to look at the planets, the rulerships, and the aspects, okay? So this could be unexpected, like, who knows? It could be, you know, unexpectedly your status is great, you know? Unexpectedly the status could be not so great, depending on the aspect going on. Status being marriage aspect, career, marriage or career. There could be ups and downs when it comes to the career or the marriage. Now, I want to say the key here, too, is giving the person independence to do what they need to do for career or marriage. Like, my career requires me to travel or whatever. You know, they need to give you that freedom to do that. You know what I mean? And I think they would with that Uranus in that 10th house, you know. But it could create unexpected, like, okay, unexpected, we're married all of a sudden. Your status could change quickly without notice, okay? But sometimes it's in a good way. Like, we're poor as shit, and all of a sudden we're, you know, richer than rich, you know what I mean? So this can happen too, okay? So you have to look at that. Okay, so when somebody Uranus falls into your 11th house of friends, groups, and organizations, you may find that you're now attracting people who are more eccentric than you as friends, people who are different than you, maybe different cultures, different religions. They're just eccentric type of people in some way, shape, or form. Different types of people are coming to you into your life when it comes to your affiliation with this new partner, okay? Friends, there could be a lot of ups and downs with friends, like all of a sudden we're friends and all of a sudden we're not. You know, things like this. There could be some ups and downs, but this is going to bring a very humanitarian-like energy to you when it comes to friends, groups, and organizations. And it could be a lot of unconventional type of friends that you never thought that you'd be part of, or a clique that you'd never be into before. And you may start to look at friends in a whole different way, shape, or form, and it could be a good thing, you know. If someone's Uranus falls into the 12th house, it's like expect the unexpected, you know. As far as subconsciously, they can make you look at things outside the box on a subconscious level. But as far as maybe handling things that come your way unexpectedly, depending on the degree too, this energy could help you handle things. You know how like the universe tends to, you know, hit the tennis ball in your court. And it's like some people are like, oh shit, you know, I don't know how to do this. Well, some people are really good at hitting that tennis ball but right back and saying, yep, I got this. You know, that can help. Uranus in the 12th house, subconscious level, things that are behind the scenes that are coming your way. This person can aid you in that. Like, in other words, giving you the insight and the foresight is to, okay, this week we can do this. This is how we can handle that, you know, that thing that we never, you know. Also, this is also looking at spirituality and religion in a very unconventional and different type of way. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you have very odd dreams and things like this, things that are just different and unique, you know. Your spirit guides could be looking at you and operating in a huge different way with you as well, giving you different insights, helping you think outside the box subconsciously, okay? All right, so... oh yeah, by the way, people who have Uranus in the 7th house, somebody mentioned detachment. That is so true. It can make you more detached or the partner more detached. Like, which is why you need to give that partner freedom. Because when they're upset, they could just detach. Like, oh, I'm just shutting all my feelings off like a switch. That can happen with this person having Uranus in the 7th house. And that applies for the 5th house as well. They can detach quickly. Because don't forget, Uranus is ruled by, this is the ruler of Aquarius, right? And this rules being unconventional. This also rules doing things quickly, suddenly, without notice. This also rules thinking outside the box to the point of brilliance. Okay, you can have oh, by the way, Uranus in the 12th house, brilliant ideas during your dreams. Write them down. You could have, like, even be an inventor. Uranus in the 6th house, I forgot to mention, that could be inventing something, you know, just totally different. Being an inventor, which is great. But when it comes to relationships, you or the other person can become detached, especially when you're having problems. Sometimes these people don't, when they see a red flag, they're just like, you know, I'm shutting off like a switch. Boom. You know, so you got to be watching that, okay? Now let's talk a little bit about Pluto. Pluto can bring endings and transformation when it's in a house, okay? So you have to look at Pluto when it's transiting or in your house when it comes to relationships. So if somebody's Pluto falls into your first house, you're going to feel changed by this. You're going to feel intense. You're going to feel passion. You're going to feel, I mean, you could even be the coldest person on the planet. And if their Pluto falls into your first house, especially on your ascendant, you're going to be intuitive. You're going to have maybe psychic insight. You're like, why do I know this with this person, right? You're going to be sexual. You're going to be passionate. It's going to be great, really intense. And you may have not been jealous or possessive and manipulative in your life. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I do not know why the hell I'm so jealous of this person. Like, oh my God, what are they doing? Where are they going? Why am I thinking this? Why am I worried? And you got to be careful with this too, because it can create power plays in a relationship, okay? Pluto, okay? So it can make you jealous, manipulative, but it can also make you passionate, really sexual. And let's say that you are not normally like this, and you're like, whoa, I don't know what's going on with me. I can't handle this intensity. But it can bring a lot of, it can really transform you as a person, right? Which can be good at times, but it can be difficult at other times as well. Okay, because transformation doesn't take place over like night. Pluto works slow, okay? So it can, but you can definitely feel this intensity, this passionate nature in you, okay? If somebody's Pluto falls into your second house, you may feel the need to reinvent yourself, the way you make money. You may transform the way you make money. There may be transformation within your earned income. You know, maybe all of a sudden rags to riches, you know what I mean? So there could be some changes to the way you make money. And I would say with Pluto in the second house, it may make you look into more research, look into more, you know, Pluto can be more into research, into medicine, into psychology, into metaphysics, all of these things. You may start to get interested in these things when it comes to making money too. Just depends. But you always have to look at your natal chart too, because what God has planned for you is what God will bring you. But this person can help push you toward. You also want to look to where the nodes are. Nodes are very helpful. God is working in mysterious ways. There's no mistake when somebody goes into your life, even if they're the crappiest asshole in the world. They've taught you something. They put you on a path and said, no, I'm not dealing with this no more. But there's a reason, okay? There's a reason. All right, so let's go with Pluto again. Pluto in the third house is going to transform you, the way you communicate, right? Maybe they're going to give you, you have to be careful, though, that there's not, like, manipulation with communication, or you could be really passionate with your communication. Like, wow, I gave this speech or whatever, and that really came from the heart, and I really just let my soul, like, come to life, and wow, you know, I didn't even know I could talk like that. You know what I mean? Or it could be like, I've never said this to a partner in my life, and all of a sudden I'm telling this guy I love him, and I'm like really deep and really intense and really passionate, and I'm telling him sexual things that I've never talked about before. I'm talking about freaking taboo subjects that I've never, like sex or astrology or, you know, whatever metaphysical thing. You know, all of a sudden I'm interested in all these things and I want to talk about it, and I never did before. This could be transformation when it comes to the way you put yourself out there, the way you communicate, right? This person makes you passionate about what you have to say, passionate about communication, right? There could be some power struggles and power plays with communication too. You have to make sure that you try not to be manipulative, because that can happen. There could be some issues with siblings or neighbors with this too. Power struggles, power plays, okay? If you have Pluto in your fourth house, it's going to make you want to transform your home. Maybe where you're living or how you're living or the people who you're living with. It's going to make you want to make some changes, okay? It's going to make you want to transform. You have to be careful, though, with Pluto here. It can create a lot of secrecy within a home and family dynamic. Like, oh, let's not tell people. Yeah, I grew up in an Italian-Irish house, which is a great, crazy combination, right? And it was like, what goes on in this house stays in this house, you know? Not like they had huge secrets, but it was like, you know, I'll be honest with you, my dad had a temper. And I don't even know why he used to say that, like, what goes on in this house stays in this house, you know? Because when he was pissed, the whole neighborhood heard him anyway, you know what I mean? I'm sure they knew what was wrong, you know what I mean? But it was very secretive about home and family, okay? So, and my 4th house is ruled Scorpio. So, whether you have Scorpio or Pluto. So, if that person's Pluto falls into your 4th house, all of a sudden home and family shit is secretive, private, whatever it is. What goes on in this house stays in this house. It can also be where there's transformation within the home and family situation. I'd have to look at aspects and rulerships as well in your chart, okay? All right, so if somebody's, there could be a lot of changes in the family dynamics too. A lot of change, transformation, okay? Now, when someone's Pluto falls into your 5th house, this could be your dating, and this is so passionate, so intense, so sexual, and you're like, and it could be, even if it wasn't meant to be a marital partner, it may be hard to let this person go because the sex is so great, okay? Especially if it's hitting your Mars or your Venus or whatever, it's like, oh my God, it just, it's addictive or whatever. So you could get addicted to that person, or you may become possessive, like, especially if you've never been possessive or controlling in your life. You're like, I just cannot let this person out of my life. I need to know where they are, what they're doing, da-da-da-da-da, and the texting, I love you. Why didn't they text back? Why didn't they text back? Why didn't they text back? I love you back. It can start to make you a little nuts. Pluto can make power plays, manipulation, and things like this. You have to be careful that the partner you're attracting is also not like this as well. Being manipulative, being, jealous, possessive, okay? But it can also make that dynamic with you too, because maybe the sexual part of that dating relationship is so intense. There could be transformation with children, okay? Maybe your life is transformed because of a child, whether this person has a child or you're going to have a child with this person. This person, creative projects can be transformed with this person in your life if it doesn't involve a child or romance. You may feel like there could be power struggles because of children, okay, which can be difficult. You may feel like you just have to be careful that there's not going to be a toxic dynamic, because Pluto is very intense, very sexual, very passionate. It wants that mind, body, soul connection, all right? But it can make people a little cray-cray because they get caught up in the whole intensity of the whole sexual dynamic, that it makes people a little nuts and obsessive and compulsive. So you have to be careful whether you or that person is behaving that way. Because, like I said, everybody who comes into your life brings stuff out in you that you're like, I wasn't this way with that person. Why the hell am I acting that way now? You know what I mean? Because their energy is bringing this out in you, okay? And it could be vice versa, okay? You bring energy out in that person too, all right? So if somebody has Pluto in your 6th house, this could make you transform your work, your day-to-day activities, and your health. Maybe this person's like, oh my God, now that this person is in my life, I'm like health conscious, I'm eating differently, I'm staying away from sugar and carbs and blah, 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 I'm watching my weight, watching my sugar, my cholesterol. That can happen. Or this person is transforming, what I do on a day-to-day basis, maybe my work, I'm like this person really transformed, and there was intensity and passion, and now I want to do something I'm more passionate about. So let's say that you're on the wrong path, and God puts, or whoever you believe in, puts this person into your life, and this lights like a fire under your ass, and you're like, oh my God, you know what? I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I hate my job, and all of a sudden I found my passion. I found what I really want to do with my day-to-day life and what I want to do for work. I know what I want to do now, So this can invite passion into your work, into your world, into your day-to-day activities, And it also can create a dynamic with coworkers, though, that can be a little difficult. There can be power plays, power struggles, so you have to be careful about that too, okay? All right. It can create also a sexual kind of tension with coworkers, so you have to watch that as well. Because there can be jealousy and manipulation and all that fun stuff too. You have to be careful though that you're not working for somebody or this person is not being manipulative in some way, shape, or form, okay? So I would just say, someone's Pluto falls in your 6th and they're offering you a job, make sure you get it in writing what they're offering you, that's all. All right. Okay. Same thing with Neptune, by the way. But we're talking about Pluto now, so... Pluto in the 7th house. This is, you know, intensity off the chain. This is somebody who you're like, I'm going to marry this guy. Oh my God, or girl. You know, sex is great. Oh my Lord. It's transformative, okay? Like I said, it's like the fifth house, but more intense because you're feeling this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. I'm going to marry this guy or girl or whatever. It can create power struggles and power plays. It can create intensity, it can create jealousy, manipulation, all of those things, but it also can create amazing sexual intensity between partnerships. And this isn't even the 8th house yet, because the 8th house is just, that's going to be off the chain. But this can create a dynamic with a partner who's very sexual, who's passionate, who's intense, okay? And he brings this intensity out in you, this passion in you, okay? So let's say that you broke up with somebody, right? And God in the universe puts this person into your life. Maybe this person is just for a season, not a lifetime, I don't know. But you just like, I have to have a relationship with this guy, I really do. And you haven't had any passion in your life forever. And all of a sudden, he's got Pluto that falls into your 7th house. You're getting your passion back. You're feeling like, oh my God, I didn't know I could feel this way again for somebody. I feel so intense and so connected to this person. I feel like we have this mind, body, soul connection with this person, you know? I feel sexual. I feel alive. I feel like a little obsessive. Like I need to know what he's doing on a day-to-day basis. I feel like compulsive, and I feel a little bit jealous, and sometimes I'm catching myself trying to manipulate situations to come my way, or maybe they're doing this to you with Pluto falling in your 7th house too. Maybe they're trying to get a certain outcome out of you, so they're trying to manipulate the situation, so you have to be careful that there's no power plays, okay? But this can be a quite intense relationship where there's a lot of passion. At least the person feeling the passion is the one who's, the other person's Pluto is falling in your house. So it's your 7th house. You're the one feeling this intensity and this passion, okay? So let's say if someone's Pluto falls into your 8th house, okay? This is going to be sex that's so transformative, okay? It can be addictive, okay? This is somebody, and people who have, I'm going to be honest with you, who have 8th house Scorpio, 8th house Scorpio, Venus in the 8th house, or natally Venus in Scorpio, okay? Now, if you have intimacy with somebody like this, or who has those planets as well, these people have that natally. So sex with them is like this all the time, okay? But if you don't have any of those planets in the 8th house, oh, you do. There you go. If you don't have, see, I'll be honest with you, everyone's, you have that natally, right? So when women are with you, they're like, oh my God, this is just, oh my God, like, wow, right? And you're like, well, I'm like this all the time. I don't know, you know. And they're addicted, okay? So here's the thing. When someone's Pluto falls into your 8th house, and let's say you don't have any of those other planets, okay? It's the same kind of energy, okay? So it's this, oh my God, I've never had sex like this in my life. This has been just transformative. This has been so intense, so passionate, so, like, you know, they say the earth moved, you know? It could really feel like, wow, I just felt this crazy, intense, you know, feeling with this person that I've never had before. And I want to feel it again and again and again and again and again. I do not want that person to ever leave. You know, they could feel that, okay? So you have to be careful. Now, Pluto also can create transformation when it comes to other people's money and loans and investments, okay? So you have to be careful there's not power plays about money. There could be power plays with money, a partner's income, power plays even with sex. You know, I'm going to use sex as a weapon here. I'm going to, not like a weapon, but like, I'm going to use this as a power tool, like to get what I want, you know. Oh yeah, you like the goodies, you like the cookies, okay, well then I want this. That's power play, right? That's a power play, you know. So that can happen with this Pluto in the 8th house. You have to be careful not to just be like, or I'm going to put him on punishment. He's not getting cookies for a long ass time. You know what I mean? That could be a power play. But you know what I'm saying, though. Pluto can be quite, it's so intense. You just have to be careful. If it's toxic, no matter how great the sex is, you may have to just be like, okay, you know, this is not healthy, or whatever the dynamic is, okay? You have to look at the whole chart as a whole. But this is the feeling that person can bring out in you. I'm going to be honest with you. I read a woman, and I saw the guy had Venus conjunct Mars in Aries, right? And I forgot what house it was in. I think it was first house. And I said, you know, he's either going to be operating on the positive side, which is just really passionate, or he could be operating on the negative side, which is abusive. Like, he could be physically abusive, this guy. And I saw the way the aspects were also, okay? But I also saw sex with them was off the chain with these two both, okay? And I said to her, I have to ask you, was this person ever, like, abusive to you? Maybe emotionally, or maybe if not physically? I'm just curious. I'm not going to say he is, because, you know, we all have that energy within us. It's whether we use it or not, right? Depending on our planets, right? So he could be using as a positive level. Maybe he just exercises a lot. Maybe he burns off that steam, goes to the gym all the time, you know what I mean? And he's really sweet to her. It doesn't mean that he's going to be aggressive and abusive. But she says, yeah, he hit me once. And I said, run. I said, why didn't you leave? Well, we have this passionate connection. I knew right away. She's caught up by the sex. Because this was an abusive relationship. That was not going to change. You know what I mean? I said, if he's already starting this now, and the sex is off the chain, and, you know, you know, that song, I'm Sorry, by Justin Bieber. You know, it's just, I was just like, no. I already saw, like, if he's already hitting you already, no, like, run. So anyway, I can see things in the chart, but she was all caught up because that is a very powerful connection. I think his Pluto fell in her 8th house, and she's like, no, but I've never felt love for someone like this in my life. And I said, yeah, but him hitting you is not love. The sexual part, and Pluto can bring toxicity too sometimes, so you have to be careful of that, okay? All right, on to Pluto in the 9th house. So if you have Pluto in the 9th house, you could be transformed by foreign people from foreign lands. You can be transformed by a beautiful place that you travel to. A class that you take, you're like, oh my God, I never knew that this existed, like astrology, you know? Oh my God, my life has totally changed. I'm transformed by this new belief system, by this religion, by this spirituality, by this class, by this culture, by this religion, you know? And I feel so intense about it. You know, those people who feel like I love astrology, you know, but if I'm out and I'm with a bunch of people and people say, oh yeah, here's my friend Laura, she's an astrologer or whatever, I don't really get into it or shove my stuff down people's throat, you know, because I don't want to push my thing on other people, especially if that's not, you know, I have a lot of Aquarius in my chart, so I'm like, okay. But sometimes these people are so passionate, they're like, I want to, no, you have to sign up for what I'm doing because it's so wonderful and so great, I just want to tell you about it. And they're so passionate about this, right? You could be passionate about something and want to teach it, you know, write about it or publish it and all that stuff. This can be where you're transformed, maybe sometimes because of a legal situation. It could be that too. Or a marital situation, you know, that can be too. You're feeling a huge transformation, all right? Be careful of power struggles too when it comes to anything legal or with foreign people, foreign lands, or imports, exports with trading, stuff like that. Let's say somebody's Pluto falls in your 10th house. Now, there's going to be transformation within your status, and they're going to bring change into your life when it comes to your status. So perhaps it's going to be you're going to marry. Perhaps it's going to be your status is going to change. You're going to maybe be wealthy. Perhaps your title in life, maybe this person's going to come into your life and now you're not an astrologer anymore, you're doing something else, you know what I mean? So your title in life will change definitely with that person's Pluto in your 10th house. Something is going to change within your title. I just have to look at the aspects and figure out where the rulerships are, okay? If somebody's Pluto falls into your 11th house, there's going to be transformation with your friends, groups, and organizations within your life. You may feel like, you know, these groups and friends that I have are not really doing it for me. You know, I need to change some things up. Or there could be power struggles and power plays with friends, groups, and organization because of this person in your life, too. You have to be careful of that, okay? This person may manipulate you. You know, those people who want to isolate you from your friends, which isn't a good thing either. Be careful of that. This person could bring intensity with friends, groups, and organizations, but drama, too. Be careful of that. You want to stay away from the drama. I want to say this person can bring very friends into your life that are very intense, passionate, deep, sexual. But it can also create a lot of ups and downs with friends. Okay, with Pluto there could be a lot of transformation because of the intensity. okay? Now, if somebody has Pluto that falls into your 12th house, there could be transformation within your subconscious thinking, changes in maybe the way you think and the way you believe in something, or on a subconscious level, you're going to have some sort of change and transformation here, okay? That's kind of what I'm saying as far as Pluto is concerned. So anyway, I hope this is helpful to you guys. And these are just some of the stuff that we look at in Synastry, and we look at where the planets are falling and the aspects. So when I do a relationship advisor session, I can see. Now, it doesn't matter if we don't know the partner's birth time. As long as I know your birth time, I can see how that guy or girl is going to affect you on a good, bad, and the ugly level, okay? If we don't, but if I know his birth time, I could say, oh, well, do you know that you affect him this way too? Like, do you know that you're bringing this out in him? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, yeah, because when you act this way, then he's going to act that way. So that's why the partner's birth time is helpful. But even if we don't have it, the partner's birth time, I can at least let you know how you affect, how that person's going to affect you. And I look at the transits, because sometimes people are just going through a really difficult time, a difficult transit, and is affecting them, and it doesn't mean that your relationship's doomed. It's just you got to get over the hump kind of a thing. So I look at all this stuff. So anyhow, you guys who are looking for a relationship advisor session, I will put a link here. You can book a reading with me. They're still on sale for the next week or two. Any kind of reading, natal reading, relationship advisor session. If you order a natal reading, do I have it on that page? Let me go look. I believe I have Tarot Live Psychic. You know what? Just order a combo live reading and put in there that you want to do a relationship, because I'll do a relationship advisor session for the same price. That's fine. No biggie to me. But it's extremely, the reason I'm saying this, they're extremely helpful when you, it's extremely helpful when you're doing this kind of reading, because it gives you a really good indicator of the dynamic between the relationship, okay? So anyway, those are just some of the outer planets that affect you at a huge level. All right, and it can bring a lot of problems or, indicators of major changes coming into your life. Neptune could create confusion and delusion and even lies and deception, okay? Or where you're deceiving yourself, depending on the house that falls in, okay? But I'll do that in another video because this is already almost an hour long. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to you guys. Let's see. Alrighty, yep, the outer planets. Venus falling to someone's first house, they automatically like you. They're going to love you. They're going to be like, oh, I really like that person, Venus in someone's first house. Even if they're, like, hot-headed or whatever, it's going to, like, calm them down a little bit, make them a little bit more chill. So I hope this is helpful to you guys in knowing how the outer planets, so when you're doing someone's chart or looking at someone else's chart, look to see where their planets fall in your chart. Okay? All right, well, this is just a little lesson on Synastry. If you guys want to take my classes, I have them on sale, and I will put that link up. Yeah. And I have live classes going on for November 30th. It starts on Thursday nights for 4 nights, and you're going to learn all of this. So if you, let me see. If you want to, let me go here. If you want to sign up for that, it's a half off. They're normally $200 because it's 4 hours of time. Plus, it usually ends up to be 5 or 6 hours because I ended up going on and on and on. And it's all recorded, so if you miss a class, a recording will be sent to you. You have access to all the teaching material on the website, all the study material and everything. But relationships forever, I will tell you, if you take this class, you're going to be able to do your own charts and be able to look at your relationships and say, okay, I'm going to know if this person's good for me or not good for me. It's going to really help you, okay? So anyway, I hope this is helpful to you. Someone's Scorpio Ascendant fell in Venus and Pluto in the 8th. Someone's Scorpio Ascendant fell in Venus and Pluto in the 8th house one time. I'm curious, why did I like them right away? All right, so your Hair of Winds, it's a little confusing. Someone's Scorpio Ascendant fell on your Venus and Pluto in your 8th. Oh, okay. Oh, because you like them right away because you felt this immediate sexual attraction to them, physically at least, from their appearance. You know what I mean? They're ascendant. But you'd have to look at their other planets too. Yeah. The class starts on November 30th, okay? It's going to go from November to December. So I like to do the classes in the winter months, and this is the month of Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is all about teaching, writing, and publishing, okay? So let's say if you did do the class, okay, it's $100 now, and then it's $200 next month. So I would get in now if you can. It's teleconference. You're going to see my screen as I lecture. Everything is going to be recorded and sent to you. So let's say if I go an hour and a half instead of an hour one day, and you have to go, or you're not available or whatever, I'll send you the recording, okay? So you'll get the recording. Now it's going to be from, okay, let me look it up. Okay, November 30th, and then it's going to go November 30th, the 7th of December, 14th of December, 21st. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 classes. Sometimes they go a 5th class, but usually I cover everything by then. What else was I going to tell you? Yeah, if you miss a class, everything's being sent to you, so it's no biggie, okay? Even if you're in Europe and there's a time difference, somebody had signed up last time, and they're like, just send me the recording, so it's up to you. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to you guys. If you want to take my class, right now's the time to do it, and I did put the link. I'll put it again. If you want a live reading, I'll put that link below too. And anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for coming. I hope this is helpful. Pluto conjuncts my Pluto and South Node. Wow. And the second house in Virgo. Okay. So if his Pluto is conjuncting your Pluto, it's bringing transformation. Okay, there could be power plays that have happened in a past life with that person when it comes to money, and you have to get away from that. And it's in Virgo, so this is like analytical, detail-oriented, nitpicky. It can be too... you're kind of getting away from being very analytical and nitpicky and having power plays when it comes to money. And this person's Pluto falling on top of that is just magnifying that. And maybe you dealt with this person in a past life when it comes to this money situation. You know what I'm saying? But you're getting away from that in this life. You're getting away from power struggles and power plays when it comes to money and finances and being, you know, Virgo, we can be a little bit... like we're counseling others, you know, with Virgo, but we can also be detail-oriented, you know, what comes in, what goes out, sometimes too much. We're wanting perfection, right? And Pluto is like, there's intensity there, there's highs and lows. Pluto's can bring highs and lows in the second house of earned income, right? Like waves. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, right? With Pluto in the second. So the best in Virgo, the best thing to do is you're getting away from that intensity, getting away from the highs and lows and the power plays, you know. My best for you would be to get a career reading to see what else is in play here. Because South Node is you're getting away from that, okay? Maybe in a past life, South Node, you counseled others or something for money. And in this life, you're going to be helping others with their finances in some way because that North Node is going to be in your 8th house. I'd have to look at your whole career thing. But you're getting away from being so detail-oriented and transforming your own income. I think you're going to be helping others with their income. But that partner of yours with Pluto is magnifying that and what you're getting away from, okay? It does not mean that you're getting away from him as a person. You're getting away from this money dynamic. Okay. Were so good for many years, and then I hit rock bottom, and still hard until now. Yeah, Pluto in the second, you may have to reinvent yourself. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some changes. Now, I'll be honest with you. I have really good aspects with Pluto in my second house, okay? So I have trines. And I have Uranus and Pluto. Uranus is astrology, right? Uranus is doing something different, very eccentric, very unique, right? But Pluto, I did have to reinvent myself, but it kind of just happened for me. And trines are good because it does kind of, things do fall on your lap. Like when that guy said to me, hey, Laura, you know I hired you to do loans for my company because my whole background was banking because I have Sun, Venus in the 8th house. And I said, yeah, and he's like, I want you to be a bill collector. You have a very good, you know, voice, and you know, the way you talk is in a lot of legal terms. I heard you on the phone. And I said, oh, no, I'm more customer servicey. I'm not very assertive on the phone. And he says, no, I want you to do this. And I said, but that's not what I'm hired for. And he goes, look, do it a week. If it doesn't work out, I'll put you back in loans. And I'm thinking, this guy has lost his damn mind. There's no way in hell. So what I did was, and I didn't really understand about psychic ability back then. I mean, I knew about my grandma and stuff, but I didn't think anything about myself. I said, all right, well, how am I going to get these people to pay? And that job was more commission-based, you know? And it wasn't Department of Education. I actually had this job before I had the Department of Education job. But I'm like, how the hell am I going to get this people to pay? I have no idea what to tell these people, you know? And I'm like, okay, what would get you to pay? You know, think about ahead of time, what is this person's life? What are they going through? What is their career right now? What would you say to get this person to pay what they owe, right? And, you know, I did it. And I'm like, you know, thinking, okay, I'm looking at what it shows about their name, their birthday, and I'm looking at where they're living in their career, and I'm like, okay. So they call it a talk-off, okay? Whenever you have a bill collector calling you, it's called a TO, a talk-off. They're telling you what you need to do and how you need to pay and everything, and you have to learn the state laws on what to say and what not to say. And I'm like, and this is not my thing. I'm customer service. This is so not my thing. But in a way, it was my thing, because I have Venus and Sun conjunct in Aries, which is a very aggressive sign. And if I have to, I can get very aggressive normally. Like, if you would ask my family, we'd be like, oh yeah, she could tell you, you know, she's not shy, you know. But I liked a more customer servicey vibe job, you know. But he's like, no, because your tone can be assertive at times. And I'm thinking, I don't think so. I'm going to suck at this. I'm not going to get any money. It's going to suck. And I turned out to be one of his top collectors. I was only there like a month. And I had a really huge commission check. But somebody lied to me and told me that this guy was going to, I don't know, replace me. I was late like twice for my car or something. And I thought, oh my God, he's going to get rid of me. So I found this other job with Department of Education. They hired me on the spot. And so I took it. But I found out that I landed this job was gold, because to get a contract for Department of Education on federally defaulted student loans is like, back then at least, before the economy tanked in 2008, was like golden, because the money was so big. And I had no idea what I had just landed. And this was during a Pluto second house transit. And I had no idea what was happening. I just was offered this. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm bill collecting for this other company. I just needed a job because I was desperate, because I'm like, oh my God, they're going to get rid of me because I was late 2 times. So, and then the guy said to me, why are you leaving? And I said, well, I heard you're going to fire me because I was late 2 times. He goes, that's a freaking lie. Who said that to you? And it was the other top collector, because he was afraid of the competition, you know, because his commission went down. So, and I wasn't aware of how it worked, you know. But he called me at my other collection job on the phone at that job and said, I'm going to call you in a couple months, and if you don't like it, I want you back. And he knew. For some reason, this guy knew that I would do well. So he called me first month, and he's like, what was your commission? Like, how'd you do? You know, first month I made like $3 grand just on commission, and which is unheard of for a very new collector who's never collected in her life, okay? Second month was like $6,000. You know, I was making, when I say big money, it was big money. So, you know, this job, like, transformed my life. Like, I made money like I've never made in my entire life. It was like 4 times as much as I've ever made. And the longer I was there, my commission checks, the biggest commission check I've ever gotten at that job was $17,000 for 1 month. And then after taxes, it was like 10. But anyhow, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but because, see, Pluto can create transformation. Like, I didn't want to do that job. I was like, I'm not trained for this. I'm trained to do loans, right? No, I want you to be a bill collector, right? I don't want to fight with people pay your bill. I don't want to argue, you know? But I learned, I use my intuition and psychic ability, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to have to yell. I'm not going to yell. I will not yell at someone. I'm not going to do that, because I wouldn't want them to do it to me, you know? And my TO was a legal one. You know, I just basically learned the laws and just told them the law. I said, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is legally, this is what they do, and da-da-da-da-da, and you have up to so many days to pay, and da-da-da-da, okay. And I acted very indifferent. My Mars and Aquarius worked well for me, because when they act like you don't give a shit if they pay or not, they're going to pay, because they're like, that girl could care less if I paid or not, you know? And I was like, okay, you pay. And I really kind of didn't, because I wanted that loan job. I didn't want this collection job. But it turned out to be the biggest blessing in disguise as I did so well. So I'm just telling you, you never know. With Pluto in the second, you may have to reinvent yourself. And that was a time that I had to reinvent what I did for work. And then it happened again when I fell into astrology. You know, not fell into it because it was always like, I was always into astrology and I was always studying and I had all these psychic experiences happening when my parents died and it was crazy. And Pluto is also psychic, money in the money house, and Uranus is astrology, and Uranus is also internet, okay? Somebody said that I should be more of a psychic medium online than I should, you know, doing astrology and all this other stuff, but because at that time, sometimes you have to be careful what gift you're using and how you use it because you can't turn it off, and it can really inhibit your life, let me tell you. I went to a priest because it was so bad after my parents died. But I will say to you, my advice is sometimes you have to reinvent yourself. You may hold on to things, and especially with these eclipses, kicking and screaming and not wanting to let go. But sometimes the transformation is the best thing that happens to you. You know what I mean? And am I making that kind of money now? No, because the economy tanked in 2008. Nobody in that industry is making that kind of money anymore, at least not that I know of. But do I want to go back to that? No, because it's arguing. You're kind of arguing on a day-to-day basis. I love what I'm doing, I'm passionate about what I'm doing, and now that I know so much more about myself, I want to use this knowledge to help you understand about yourself and about how people affect you, good or bad. And be ready for changes that may be coming your way. To be forewarned is to be forearmed, and I wish I had that. Because sometimes I was like so lost, like I can't believe we create our own lives, and we create this blueprint of our life before we're born, and what the hell was I thinking? My blueprint sucked at times. I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. So anyway, I just wanted to say, you may have to reinvent your life, especially with Pluto in the second, but it could be good. And I had trines. So it was like, this stuff fell into my lap, and I was like, I just went with it, because I'm like, I need a job. I need to do what I got to do, you know? And I did well, and I was like, I can't believe, you know? I was like, this is wonderful. You know, it was great money, you know? And that, yeah. But, you know, you got to be careful, too, because Uranus, just so you know, in the second, this is exactly what happened to me. Pluto can be where it's good, but when it's bad, it's bad. But Uranus, when Jupiter hit my Uranus, I'll be honest with you, transiting, Jupiter hit my natal Uranus, I made that $17,000 commission check, which after taxes was $10,000. And then Uranus can also bring unexpected bills. My dad suddenly got really sick, okay? So, and then I had to go on family medical leave because he had Lou Gehrig's, and it was a long time. I don't want to get into that, start crying. But anyway, astrology can be so helpful and insightful. And like I said, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. So, you know, you have to use it to your advantage and know the timing can be really helpful to you guys, okay? I'm sorry, I'm so, like, when I talk about my parents, I get emotional. But anyway, if you want a reading from me, I will put a link. Let me see, wait, let's see, here we go. I will put a link. I'm going to have it on sale, and if you want a relationship advisor session instead, you can do that as well, okay? So, I put that up there, so whatever you guys are wanting, okay? I will talk to you guys soon, and I hope this really helps you out, okay? Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.